No problem. Take your time.
Very good afternoon and welcome back to a bright and sunny Monday afternoon. We're at the Altier Sports Green Park ground for semi-final number 2. This is the IndusInd Bank Nagesh Trophy 2021 Season 3 and there's a place in the final up for grabs. It's the home team Karnataka, the finalists from last year taking on Odisha. And news from the centre just a while ago from the toss is that Odisha won the toss and they decided to bat first. This is the second semi-final, Karnataka versus Odisha, and here's what happened at the toss.
Yeah. Hello, namaskar and welcome to the toss of the second semi-final between Karnataka and Odisha. I have both the captains here. Mr. Sunil Ramesh from Karnataka is in yellow. We have Mohammad Zafar Iqbal, the captain of Odisha, with the coach Chandrasekhar Patnaik, and of course the match referee Mr. D.T. Kumar. And we also have the promoter, owner of Altier Sports, where the match is going to be played, the semi-finals, finals, and they have been a great host, Mr. Praveen Ritti, the owner, smile on his face after a successful conduct of the tournament, and of course the two umpires who have been standing in the scorching sun, Sai Ram and Prasanna Raj, and Mr. David, the secretary of the board. So, Mr. Kumar, I'm sure you're having the coin, and who's going to call?
Yeah, see now I'm using a 10 rupee coin. Ashoka the heads and this is the tails. So who's going to call? I will call, sir.
You'll call?
Yes, so I'm going to toss here in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, call. It's head.
It's head.
Head, it is head.
Oh. Mohammad Zafar Iqbal ji, you have won the toss. क्या करेंगे आप?
I would like to bat first.
क्यों?
Our batting is our strength, and our boys are very well in batting, and this is the second hour of the day, and the outfield is very fast. I hope that our boys can set a very good target to pressurize the Karnataka team.
Well, in the morning, the skipper Deepak Malik of Haryana said that he wants to utilize the batting first, put up a big total, but he ended up losing the match. But he said he would have taken batting had he won the toss. But क्या exact thought process था, like total बनाने के बारे में सोच रहे थे या आपको batting के strength के ऊपर ज़्यादा trust है, you said, but you need to bowl out a strong Karnataka team.
I'm very sure about my bowling side. My fielding and bowling boys are doing well throughout the tournament, and in the batting also our batsmen are doing well. And in this tournament we have been batting batting fast after winning the toss. I have won 5 toss in this tournament. Then I have batted in every matches except Karnataka, except Andhra Pradesh. We have won all the matches. So I have today there will be a very good, fantastic match.
Okay, all the very best for the match. Sunil Ramesh, if you had won the toss, what you would have taken?
टॉस हो गए तो हम लोग फील्डिंग लेना चाहते थे क्योंकि हमारा बॉलिंग अच्छा है, फील्डिंग भी अच्छा है.
तो इसका मतलब है जो टॉस लॉस हुआ कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता आपको?
फर्क नहीं पड़ता सर, क्योंकि हम 2 भी रेडी होना चाहिए ना, इसलिए हम लोग टॉस हो गए तो फील्डिंग लेना है. ओडिशा ने हमको फील्डिंग दिया, बहुत खुश है सर.
कल के मैच में 15.3 ओवर्स में कर्नाटका जीता. कर्नाटका का बेंच स्ट्रेंथ अभी पूरा टेस्टिंग नहीं हुआ, तो इसका मतलब पहले 3-4 बैट्समैन को एक काम करना पड़ेगा. चेसिंग के टाइम पे अच्छा स्टार्ट चाहिए.
यस सर, हमारा सारे लोग अच्छे से खेल रहे हैं और बैटिंग और फील्डिंग और बॉलिंग पे बैटिंग स्ट्रेंथ भी अच्छा है सर हमारा.
Okay, Congra, let's hope for a good game and all the best for the match.
Thank you, sir.
Well, the news from the center is that Odisha has won the toss and they have decided to bat first, which means Karnataka will bowl first.
Right, so there you go. Fellow commentator Shankar Prakash was right in the midst of it all under the hot and scorching sun. And Odisha won the toss. They've decided to bat first. And here's a quick look at the lineup. Mohammad Jafar, he's a quality talent. He's the captain of the side. He also plays for Team India. Tapan Kumar, Kalia Pradhan, and Debraj Bera, Nakula Badanayak, Lal Prasad Soren, Sindrai Maji, Pankaj Bue, Sukram Maji, Lingraj Rautra, Dhanapati Gowda. This is the wicketkeeper and the coach Javare Gowda. And this is Odisha. They have a quality team, and that's why they're here in the semi-final. They are up against an in-form Karnataka team who will be one of the favorites for the tournament. Here we are, ball number 1. And start off. Very, very strategic there. He kept it on the leg side, but he made sure it was within the blue line. And it's Prakash Jairamaya who's got the gloves on. He is the big name. He is one of India's best batsmen. He's done it in the grandest stage of them all. And you see them, targeting that area once again. But this time the batsman was up to the task. And all he does is help it along the fine leg boundary. And he picks up 4 runs. There you go. A little too much onto the leg side this time. It was easy pickings for the batsman. And with no fine leg, you're asking for trouble. Karnataka were the finalists last year against Andhra Pradesh. They lost to Andhra Pradesh in that big final. And Andhra Pradesh, if you are just joining us, they beat Haryana just a while ago and have already booked their spot in the final once again. Will it be Karnataka? Will it be Odisha? It's the battle of the giants. They're all really quality players, they are. And for Odisha, it's Nakula Badnayak who is batting on strike, and he's just helped Odisha along to their second boundary of the first over. They are a quality team. One would still say that Karnataka are favourites for this game. But while I say this, mind you, Odisha will definitely give Karnataka a run for their money. They have outstanding batsmen, and the captain sounded confident about their bowling and fielding as well. This time on the offside now, and that'll find the boundary. It's a solid start from Odisha, and Nakula Badnayak has started very well indeed. He's finding gaps, very intentionally hitting the ball into the right places in the ground. And it's Puneet KS who is the opening bowler. Shot straight to the mid-wicket. Fielder dot ball to end the first over. A warm welcome to all our viewers on DD Sports. This is the semi-final of the IndusInd Bank Nagesh Trophy Season 3. We're coming to you from Bangalore. It's a wonderful day for a game of cricket. We've just seen some high-quality cricket in the first half of the day. A high-scoring first semi-final. Haryana batted first. They scored 198. And Andhra Pradesh were simply outstanding with the bat. They went one step ahead and they beat Haryana with 2.5 overs to spare. Or rather less than 2 overs to spare, in fact. It was a game that went down all the way down to the wire. 400 runs were scored in that game. And if that's anything to go by, we are in for another high-scoring encounter. 13 for no loss at the end of 1. And it's a good time to bring in a veteran in the com box as well. We're going to get to see many veterans on the cricket field when it comes to blind cricket. And Shankar Prakash is a man that needs no introduction. He's done it many a times, and in an absolute pleasure being alongside him in the combox.
Thank you, Navneet, Krishna. Well, good afternoon to all the listeners and Karnataka. So it's been a day wherein things have happened what the captains wanted. In the morning, Deepak Malik of Haryana wanted to bat first. It happened, though he lost the match. In the afternoon, Karnataka's keeper wanted to bowl first, and that's happened again, though they lost the toss. What I meant was the team toss has been a secondary thing, which normally is not the case when in first-class cricket and test cricket is being played in a country like India. The first test, England won the toss, they won the match. And in the second test, India has won the toss in the second test match and seems like winning. So toss playing a very important role there, but here the captain's not quite perturbed by the way the toss has gone against them. But a good start for Odisha. Smart piece of fielding. And Karnataka will have to be very, very careful not to let the game slip away. Odisha 15 for no loss. As we have the bowler Lokesh B2, and again smart piece of fielding in the deep, wonderfully done on the occasion by Harish S, the B3 player. So normally we observe the B3 players guarding the boundaries to prevent any untoward incident being happened when a B1 fielder will be fielding at the deep, because normally if he misses a beat, or if he doesn't hear the sound of the ball bearings inside the ball will definitely go for the boundary. So the captains generally will have B3 players with a vision range of 6 to 8 feet in the deeper position. As once again, smart piece of fielding, a good combination there as Jagdish. (16 for no loss), another ball to go in this over. So it's been a good comeback over for Karnataka, and bowling 17 for no loss at the end of that over. So Karnataka will have to pick up a wicket, Navneet, because we saw in the morning what damage the Haryana openers did. So they should not allow the openers to go for a big first wicket partnership.
Absolutely. You don't want the opposition running away with the game very early on, especially in a crunch game like a big semi-final. And it's going to be from the far end, number 13 jersey, Harish S is a B3 bowler who's going to bring in the third over. And for everyone new to blind cricket just tuning in, how about a little quick 101 on blind cricket? If you're wondering what the B1, B2, B3 is all about, a team of 11 in blind cricket comprises of 3 categories of players. That's a good shot. No run, just a dot ball. Yeah, comprises of 3 categories of players. 4 players will have to be from the B1 category, players that are completely blind. 3 players from B2 who are partially blind, and 4 players from B3 that are partially sighted. That was a little too close. How late did he play that? Almost too late. He almost played that onto the stumps. But this is a good start from Karnataka. Nakula Badnayak is bowling his second over from the far end. I'm sorry, my apologies. Is the batsman on strike? There he finds the gap finally. It is Harish S who's bowling from the far end, like I mentioned. But Nayak was the one who got the boundaries in the first over. Right, so coming back, and if I'm going to still try to simplify this for you, the B1 players are completely blind, so least in terms of sighting. B2 are partially blind, so they can see up to about 4 feet. And the B3 players obviously are capable of sighting the ball the best, because they have reasonable sighting for about 4 to 8 feet. And it's the B3 players and the B2 players that teams will want to bank on to get the runs and the wickets. But it's very important, mind you, 4 out of the 11 are B1 players. And how you use them is extremely crucial to your success in blind cricket. And some of the best exponents of using B1 cricketers are Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, and that's why they are stalwarts. They are big names in blind cricket. Remember, when you're bowling, B1 bowler or B1 bowlers will have to bowl 8 out of the 20 overs. 8 overs at a minimum of the 20 overs will have to be bowled by B1 bowlers. And a few more basics about blind cricket. The ball that you're seeing, the white ball that you're seeing, is significantly larger than a regular cricket ball. And the biggest difference is that it has ball bearings inside that makes a noise which acts as an audio cue for fielders, bowlers and batsmen to judge and sense where the ball is and thereby take action. Oh, it's an appeal for an LBW. LBW is quite simply the way it is in the way you know cricket. If you're found stranded in front of the crease, in front of the wicket, with the ball hitting you flat in front, very likely that you'll see the umpire raise his finger. 2.5, last ball of the third over. This is a good start. This is very good bowling by Harish S. And 3 overs completed, 25 for no loss.
After the initial flurry of runs in the first over, the Karnataka bowling has done well. They've come back into the match pretty strongly. 25 for none after 3 overs, so just about 8 runs per over. They started with 14 runs per over, and that's the Karnataka team for us. Puneet, Lokesh, Harish, Sunil Ramesh, the skipper, Baswaraj. We also have Sai Prasad, Jagadish, Mohan Kumar, Bhaskar, Umesh and Prakash, wicketkeeper. The wicketkeeper can change, and that's the beauty of this cricket again. If he is also a bowler, he will do wicket-keeping for some time, and then there'll be another player in the team who can also don the gloves, and he can be the wicket-keeper. So flexible rules that has made this game very creative and interesting. But at the moment, it's Odisha haven't lost a wicket. 25 for no loss. The new bowler. 25 for no loss. 25, 26 by virtue of that single, as Harish, as we watch the bowler Lokesh. Good start, good stuff, good cricket all around. Karnataka has been doing well. If you can't pick wickets, don't give the runs to the opposition. Smart piece of fielding there by Harish S, a B3 player. And the bowler is Lokesh. Karnataka, as we know in T20 cricket, fielding is an important aspect in a T20 cricket, and it's been the hallmark that a run saved is a run scored. As Odisha now toiling hard to get some boundaries here. They started off with a flurry of boundaries in the first over, but after that, the Karnataka bowlers have been bowling very well, keeping Lionel Nandan. A vociferous appeal, and they get the decision. Nice stumping there by the wicketkeeper. Beautifully done as Karnataka strike. Just when things were looking slightly bleak in terms of the runs scored against them, Prakash Jay, the wicketkeeper, making no mistake, whipping off the bails in style and proving what a utility cricketer he is. Jubilation all around for the Karnataka team. That shows the camaraderie, and the first wicket for Odisha goes. Nakul out, stumped by Prakash Jairamaya off the bowling of Lokesh. 26 for 1. And now we have the captain, Mohammad Zafar Iqbal, a B1 player. So remember that a B1 player, if he scores a run, 2 runs will be added to his tally. Probably the feet was in the air for some time. As we watch Lokesh now to bowl to Nakula Badnaik of Odisha, jersey number 15. Mohammad Zafar Iqbal to take strike now. Jersey number 15 is and the non-striker. Nakul was the batsman who was out. As we watch Lokesh. Swept and swept nicely. Just imagine a B1 player captaining the side. That shows the faith and the confidence in the talent of the player. Mohammad Zafar Iqbal. Mohammad Zafar Iqbal, the B1 player, and the coach Chandrasekhar Patnaik in the toss was saying that he's a very good player and scored a single, but 2 runs will go to the kitty of Odisha. So 4 overs gone, 26 for 1. So Karnataka have come back into the match very strongly. Navneet, after that initial first over where we saw 14 runs coming, and after the next 3 overs, just 4 runs per over.
You know, we don't often see a score of around 6 to the over in blind cricket. Ever so often, the strike rates around, or rather the run rates around 10 to the over. And so in that context, Karnataka have started very well. 26 for 1 in 4, and it's going to be Harish to continue from the far end. Shot, excellent shot that will go over the boundary line. The pick up 4 runs. It's extremely important where you place your B1 fielders because batsmen will target those spots, and that's exactly what Pankaj Bhuye did on that occasion. He knew that there was a B1 fielder at mid-on, and he hit it straight back, straight there, and more often than not you'll find the boundary line. So strategic from Odisha, and they need to be. They're up against the quality team. They cannot afford to be on the back foot early on, especially. They lost 1 wicket already. A good piece of fielding there at covers, or mid-off rather. Very well done, and a quick throw in means that it's just going to be the single, right? And well, on watching that replay again of that first wicket, I have my questions on whether that really was out. Just looked like for a second that the feet was in the air. Was that what tempted the umpire to raise his finger? It never is easy, especially when you have to decide in a split second, but it did look close on that occasion. And it's going to be the captain now, Mohammad Jafar, on strike. He has wonderful stories to share about his own personal experience and how blind cricket has helped in his own development and in providing a livelihood to hundreds of folks around in Odisha and around in the country as well. And Mohammad Jafar, he really is a role model to many youngsters in the country. And to be a completely blind player and captain your state side says a lot about what this man is all about. He's a role model. He really is a hero to many people watching. And he's pretty good with the bat, mind you. He plays for the country because he can play strokes like that. Didn't get it right at the middle of the bat on that occasion, but he can sweep well. And every run scored by a B1 player will mean a double on the scoreboard. A single will mean 2, a double will mean 4 runs, and if he hits a boundary, it will mean 8 more runs on the scoreboard. So extremely crucial, the contributions by B1 players in blind cricket. Oh, is that a wide? close, and he does signal it a wide. Prakash Jairamaya, the wicketkeeper, is not amused at all. He felt that it was inside the blue line. But in cricket, it's the umpire's word. That is the final word. So you got to move on. Slower delivery there. Much slower. You know, that gives the batsman so much more time, and also the batsman time to analyze more options. And sometimes it probably isn't the best thing. You just want the ball to come onto the bat on many occasions. And quite smart here from Harish S. That's a good shot. That'll be just a single, which means 2 runs on the scoreboard for Odisha. 5 overs completed, 33 for 1 Odisha. And Karnataka are racing along their overs. They have packed in 5 overs in a matter of just a few minutes.
34 for 1, run rate still below 7, which is very good. And what's happening is the skipper Mohammad Jafar Iqbal getting a piece of suggestions from the runner that you need to score, and Jafar has to pick up the singles and give the strike to the non-striker. Must sense the sound of the ball bearings inside the ball very quickly, pick up a single which will put 2 runs to the kitty of Odisha, and thereafter the B2, B3 players can garner the strike and go for the boundaries. And now Umesh CA, another B2 bowler from Karnataka. Umesh will bowl now. It would be interesting how the skipper Sunil R will utilize the B1 bowlers, because they have to bowl at least 8 overs. It's a good one, and Mohammad Jafar ball plays it and picks up a single, but 2 runs will go to the kitty. So 1 for the wide and 1 they have run. Remember, the B1 player bat should touch the ball, and then if runs are taken, it will be doubled. On the contrary, if they run on a wide ball, or if they take a bye or leg bye, it won't be taken into account. Dot ball to make amends for that mistake. 36 for 1. Swept nicely, and a bit of misfield, but a good backup there, ensuring that the scoring is restricted to just a single. Smart piece of fielding in the deep by Harish S, a B3 player. As normally we have said that the B1 players will be slightly closer to the wicket in comparison to a B3 player, so that if the B1 player misses the ball which comes to him, the B3 player can always back up and prevent a boundary. Once again, it's going to be the skipper of Odisha to take strike, Mohammad Jafar Iqbal. Waits for the next one from Harish. Slightly wider, and umpire has no problems in calling it a wide. Easy decision to make under the sun. So, regular encouragement from the dugout to the Karnataka players that they have done all the hard work, picked up a wicket early part of the innings. And another wide. We'll have to wait and see. Vociferous appeal. The umpire calls it a wide. The ball was pitched so wide that Mohammad Jafar Iqbal, the pressure taking the better of Mohammad Jafar Iqbal. There you watch, though it was a wide ball, it was a ploy. Nicely executed by Harish S. And there you can see deliberately put wide. And before he could come back onto the crease, wicketkeeper Jairamaya makes no mistake, completes the formalities. So 1 run will definitely go to Odisha's account, and but the batsman, a B1 batsman, will have to go back. The skipper Mohammad Jafar. So plan nicely executed. 38 for 2. So the second wicket for Odisha falls. There you can see again, ball was in the hands of Prakash Jairama, and before the feet of Jafar comes on the ground, he whips off the bails, and the benefit of doubt not going to the batsman but to the team which appealed, and they are in the closest position to watch that. Again, a smart piece of fielding in the deep, just a single. The Karnataka players are doing it in style, picking up 2 wickets, not giving anything away to the opposition, applying pressure incessantly on Odisha. And will this be a repeat of the last year's final? Karnataka versus Andhra, we'll have to wait and see. Still a lot of cricket to be played, and almost close to a wide on that occasion, that delivery from Umesh. But good decision in the end by the umpire that it's a fair delivery. Umesh. Nicely swept, but we'll only get a single. Smart piece of fielding in the deep by Karnataka's Harish. 2 for 41. Odisha, after winning the toss and electing to bat. Umesh, the final time in this over. This time will they find the gap? We'll have to wait and see. No, it goes straight to the fielder. Similar delivery, similar stroke from a different batsman. It's been a good combination here as Pankaj Buhe, the vice captain, has to do a lot of hard work. Pankaj Buhe, a B3 player, will have to hang in there, having a word with his companion. And that was the last ball of the 6th over. So the Odisha run rate has slightly cropped up to 7 runs per over, but that may not be enough for the strong Karnataka batting lineup. Well, Navneet, Karnataka has done well so far.
Well, they certainly are in the ascendancy at the moment, Karnataka. And you can see he isn't the captain of the team, Prakash Jairamaya, but he will marshal his troops very, very well from behind the stumps. Fair to say that he does have the best angle. From his vantage point, he's going to make sure that he has every single fielder in exactly the spot that he wants them to. 42 for 2 in 6 overs. At the moment, Karnataka would be quite happy with how they're fared. 7 to the over in blind cricket is often considered a little below par, and they'll need some consolidation from here on, Odisha. Pankaj Buhe will have to lead that charge. Right, number 7 over in progress now. And it's going to be a wide to start off proceedings here in over number 7. Right, it's Andhra Pradesh that have won the first semi-final. They've booked their spot in the big final tomorrow. Will they face Karnataka? Will they face Odisha? Only time will tell. At the moment, it's the men in yellow and red that have the advantage. Oh, have a look at that. That turned quite a bit. That definitely did look like it was going to go down the leg side for a wide, but it spun in quite significantly and was making its way to the center of middle stump. So interesting to see the variety that Karnataka have in their bowling lineup. There you go, the ball's not spinning on this occasion, and that's why the umpire will raise his arms, signaling a wide. So it's Jagdish who's bowling right now. Very interesting indeed. Ever so often it is bowlers trying to bowl as fast as they can to beat the batsman, but on this occasion Jagdish is, well, quite the contrary. He's bowling them slow, he's spinning them as much as they can, and creating, well, some sort of confusion in the minds of the batsmen. but he's bowled a few wides in the process. There you go. Because of the angle at which he's bowling it and the line that he's bowling, he's almost switching off 75% of the ground, so the batsmen have very little options. Quite literally have to sweep it to the deep square leg region or maybe behind the wicket. So in a way, very smart tactics, but he would just need to get it right. That is important. Like I said, if he does stray in line even more, it's going to be really easy pickings, and that was just swatted, absolutely dismissed with arrogance on that occasion. The batsman said, "I've had enough of this," and he just swats it behind him, raced along to the boundary. Feels like a long over, this. Look at that. He's waiting for eternity. Oh, man. That is what can happen. Very, very interesting indeed from Jagdish. It just took forever to reach the batsman. And so all the pace that needs to be created will have to be by the batsman, because the bowler isn't giving you anything at all. Shot, good shot, but they do have backup for that mid-on fielder, and that would mean it'll only be a single. There's still a ball to go. It's been a very long over this. I've seen a few extras. But with that boundary, Odisha, what they also did was go past the 50-run mark, and they need plenty more boundaries. Look at that, look at that. It's just taking forever to reach the batsman, but he played it well, and that is an outstanding piece of fielding, saving his team 2 runs there. A long over, but Odisha did manage to get some runs from that as well. 9 of them, in fact. 55 for 2 at the end of 7. And we're motoring along here in the second semi-final.
So 2 B3 players in the middle. So that's a smart piece of fielding. In fact, a nice backup, a good combination there between the skipper Sunil R and Harish S, both the B3 players for Karnataka. 2 B3 batsmen in the middle for Odisha, Pankaj Buhe and Sukram Maji. So it has to be a cycle. So first cycle B3 and B2 opened, then B1 came. So it became a cycle of B1, B2, B3. And now 2 B3 players are playing. If one of them gets out, either a B2 or a B1 player will have to come. If B2 comes, then B1 will have to come. So the cycle will have to be completed. And Baswaraj of Karnataka will now bowl as Baswaraj, a B1 bowler. Baswaraj M. Hullenavar. 55 for the loss of 2 wickets. What a ball, wicket to wicket. That's a good one to start. He might have given away a single, but being a B1 bowler, a wicket to wicket delivery shows that how much amount of practice he has done. Unlike the first encounter where we saw a lot of extras, here also there are extras, but not to the extent what we saw in the first match between Haryana and Andhra Pradesh. Odisha 56 for 2. Swept nicely. What a stroke, but equally well fielded. Straight to mid-wicket. So Karnataka doing very good ground fielding, and it would be interesting now. 7 overs gone. 8 overs have to be bowled totally by B1 bowlers, and Baswaraj the bowler, B1 bowling his first over. Slightly very wide. Umpire has no hesitation in calling it a wide. The score advances 58 for the loss of 2 wickets. Karnataka fielders have done well to cut off the boundaries. This time it's a good ball, but struck very hard. Will the ball go to the boundary? No, it won't. Again, good, smart piece of fielding in the deep by the skipper, Sunil R, waving his hand towards the dugout after getting applause for the nice fielding. Again, the ball comes to him. Looks like the ball loves Sunil. So just single. The skipper Sunil Ramesh will not mind conceding singles to the opposition as 2 more balls to go. Baswaraj having a bit of a problem with the ball, complains to the umpire. Umpire also takes a look, tests it, but asks the bowler to continue bowling as nothing wrong with the ball. And this was again struck. The field placement has been pretty circumspect from the Karnataka perspective. Harish S, the B3 fielder at square leg, makes no mistake, stops the ball. So Harish and Sunil have saved a lot of runs for Karnataka in this encounter. 71 for the loss of 2 wickets. The last ball of the 8th over from Baswaraj, struck hard. And the umpire has no hesitation calling it wide. Another ball will have to be bowled. Now what's going to happen, since this has been a wide delivery, if a boundary is scored, which means you have conceded extra runs. Struck nicely, waiting for that, and that's what happens. The ball, it was a good over, but a wide of the last ball and then a boundary of the last delivery, restoring parity of the over for Odisha. So at the end of 8 overs, 6 for the loss of 2 wickets. Nicely struck on that occasion by Pankaj Buhe, the vice captain. Has no problems dispatching it to the long on boundary. So Odisha fighting it out, but somewhere down the line, in all probability, they'll keep wickets in hand and raise the run rate maybe after the 12th or 13th over, because still a lot of bowling to come in the form of B1 for Karnataka.
.66 for 2 at the end of 8. Change of balls right now, so that's why the small little stoppage in play. A little over 8 to the over at the moment. It's a little bit of a recovery from the Odisha team after that relatively slow start. They have 2 B3 batsmen in the center, so if anything, this is the time to capitalize. Score as many runs as you can, and on the flip side, Karnataka have a whole bunch of B1 overs that need to be bowled. So this is the time for Odisha. Make hay while the sun shines, and at the moment the sun is belting down. Mohan Kumar from Karnataka is going to bowl the 9th over from the far end. Fantastic shot, and even better piece of fielding there at the boundary line. So good cricket all around, a good ball, a good shot, and well fielded. That's what you get at a semi-final stage. 2 top teams and high quality cricket on the field. We saw some excellent performances with the bat in hand in the first match. We saw the likes of Rohit Sharma and Deepak Malik put up that massive 170-run partnership in the first game. And then we saw DT Krishna, we saw Ajay Kumar Reddy, we saw Durga Rao. All of them do so well for Andhra Pradesh to chase that down. And it's an opportunity now for Odisha to score some runs. And it's got 4 of them in their previous delivery. It's a little way too down the leg side, but the batsman followed the ball, and that is why the question of whether it's a wide goes out of the picture. Now that's a little too wide for the keeper as well. Shot, excellent shot, and well fielded on the boundary line. Just a single. Samarthanam trust for the disabled. The backbone, really, you have to say, in the opportunities that they provide blind cricketers, and with the help of CABI, or Cricket Association for the Blind in India, they have really changed the lives of many, provided them a livelihood, an opportunity, a platform for them to express themselves, and through cricket, through sport, have been able to teach each of these youngsters so much in life, and that is the role that CABI, that is the role that Samarthanam plays. It's far beyond what you see on the ground. This is a bit erratic here from the bowler. They have to cut out on the extras. We saw how much it cost Haryana in that first semi-final. They were very indisciplined with their lines, and well, you can't bowl 25 extras in a matter of just 12 to 14 overs. Oh, he played that so late. Prakash Jairamaya was so close to the batsman's bat that it hit him on the way back. 77 for 2 at the end of 9.
.77 for the loss of 2 wickets. So scoring slightly better than 8 runs per over. But will that be enough? Only time will tell, as a new over is about to begin in the IndusInd Bank Nagesh Trophy for supremacy in domestic cricket in India. Andhra Pradesh have entered the finals, defeating Haryana in the first match of today, and in the second match it's Odisha versus Karnataka. Karnataka fielding after Odisha winning the toss and electing to bat. Nicely struck back along the track on the follow through. What a great fielding there by Baswaraj. It was a definite boundary, and being a B1 player, that adds extra credits for this player. Baswaraj saving runs for his team on his follow through. Again nicely struck, but equally up to the task. Gets a hug and a pat from the wicketkeeper. The seasoned player Prashant Jairamaya going up to him and congratulating him. Indeed, good cricket there. There you can watch. Hit with all his might, but heard the sound of the ball bearings inside the ball very quickly. Baswaraj up to the task, diving to his right and making no mistake. This time pitches it on the leg side. The batsman has no problems at all, but Baswaraj will only concede a single. So Karnataka's B1 player, Baswaraj, has been doing exceedingly well as a bowler, and that's very important because you need to complete a quota of at least 8 overs from B1 out of the allotted 20 overs. And Baswaraj is doing exceedingly well in terms of containing the runs. If he picks up a wicket, that'll indeed be a bonus. Going in for a mighty heave, it was a definite wide. An extra run to Odisha. .80 for 2 as Baswaraj will bowl the next one to Sukram. Sukram strikes it hard, will find the gap. That comes like a bullet towards the boundary. In between mid-on and mid-wicket. No problems at all was eyeing the spot right from the first delivery, finally being successful in the fourth delivery of the over from Basvaraj. There you can watch Sukaram Maji, the B3 player, saw that ball pretty early, and the ball was hit with so much of power and placement that there was no chance at all for the fielder to cut it off. Sunil, it was again definitely a wide. 85 for 2 after bowling some great 2-3 deliveries in this over. Basvaraj now faltering in line and length. Need to watch out for this. Again, another wide. Karnataka versus Odisha, the second semi-final being played here at the Altior grounds, and smart piece of fielding in the deep this time again by Sunil R, the skipper. They've been guarding the boundary very well, the captain Sunil R, the B3 player, but the score advances to 87 for 2. Barring one boundary and a flurry of wide balls, Basvaraj has bowled well in this over. As waits for the next one, comes out of the crease and drives it hard. Again, smart piece of fielding in the deep for Karnataka there. Jagdish, a B1 player, so that gives extra credit. Gets a pat from the skipper Sunil. Last ball of the over, 8.8 runs per over. So Navneet, Odisha slowly picking up the run rate, 88 for 2. They're in a good position, a good platform for them to accelerate from now on. 8 wickets in hand, 10 more overs to go, and still some more overs to come from B1 players.
Absolutely. I think it's a good platform, a good recovery from Odisha after a relatively slow start in the first 4 to 5 overs. As you can see on your visuals on your screen, we are in for a very quick drinks break. We should be back with action in about a couple of minutes. It's a hot day here in Bangalore. It really is. The sun is beating down. 32, 33 degrees is probably the temperature around here. And you want to make sure you stay hydrated. You bring in enough liquids into your system as you can, with so much of running around to do. And you know what? You have to hand it to them as well. Mr. Prasanna Raj and Sai Ram, the two umpires for the two semi-final today. They've been on the field more than any other player, officiating two T20 games back-to-back on a hot and sunny day isn't easy work. But our umpires have been up to the task, and we are in our penultimate game of Season 3 of the IndusInd Bank Nagesh Trophy 2021. Andhra Pradesh got the better of Haryana just a while ago in the first half of the day today in a very high-scoring T20 game. Look at that, the 2 wickets that fell today. Both came by way of stumpings. Oh, oof, so close, so close. You lift your foot up for a split second and that's good enough for you to be out, because Prakash Jairamaya is extremely quick. And he flashed and he whipped off those bails in a flash. And the leg umpire was kind enough to give them 2 wickets. Back live, and it's over number 11 now. It's going to be Mohan Kumar S, another B1 bowler, who will be bowling from the far end. Remember that you need to bring in 8 overs from B1 players. 8 mandatory overs have to be bowled by B1 bowlers. In the remaining 12 can come from any one of them, B1, B2 or B3. And that's from a bowling perspective. From a batting perspective, every run scored by B1 batsmen will mean 2 runs in the scorebook. So you get double the runs scored by B1 players. At the moment, it's just so happened that That is hard. That is extremely ferociously hit. This is high quality stuff from the two Odisha batsmen. They really are piling it on now, and they're starting to take the game away. Sukram Maji was excellent in that previous over. He struck a couple of good boundaries, and now it's the turn of Pankaj Bhuve, and they're both hard-hitting batsmen. They're giving it a good dong, can't they? And just when I say that, the commentators curse. He misses that. But an excellent recovery from Odisha in the last 5 overs. Oh, extremely well struck. There is no chance for the long on and long off fielders. You had two fielders, very straight, but he still threaded that gap. That's how hard he's hitting the ball, Pankaj Bhuve. And with that boundary, they bring up the 100. It was around 7 to the over. Then they got to about 8 per over. Suddenly they went past 9, and here they are. Over 10 runs to the over, and may very well be on course to 200 if they do carry on. That is what two batsmen can do in T20 cricket, and more so in blind cricket. They've taken the game away from Karnataka quietly but steadily in the last 6 overs. They need a wicket, desperately need a wicket, the finalists from last year. And it's the B1 overs that Odisha are capitalizing on big time. Shot straight to the fielder this time though. Had that gone even a meter to either side of the mid-wicket fielder, that would probably past the boundary ropes. He hit that so well. Such clean strikers of the ball. And another one. Again straight to the deep mid-wicket fielder. Excellent piece of fielding there. He cleans up well. Good fast throw in back. And just the single onto the scoreboard. And that would mean we come to the end of the 11th over and 104 for 2. Game on.
The visibility of a B3 player is 6 to 8 feet, but when you wear spectacles, the distance for which they can still observe is a little far than that. And that's the reason why the B3 fielders are able to cut off the boundaries in the deep, and also the Odisha batsmen, the two B3 players in the middle. Pankaj doing a great job for his team. Pankaj Bhuve along with Sukram Maji. But in Karnataka now need a wicket. They're trying to complete the quota of 8 overs of B1 bowlers as Baswaraj is ready. Baswaraj. In fact, Baswaraj is the vice captain of the team. The previous over bowled a couple of good overs, but now conceding boundaries on a regular basis. The captain persisting with the Baswaraj and probably wants to cut off the scoring rate in the next couple of overs or so. Because the initial few overs when the runs were not scored, B2, B3 bowlers were bowling. But now once the B1 bowlers come onto the scene, the Odisha batsmen, both these batsmen have seized the opportunity. And they've smashed the ball all over the park. Again, this time beating the bowler on his follow through. Smart piece of backup in the deep by Bhaskar. Makes no mistake. $109 for 2. For the information of those who might have just tuned in, well, as we all know, we have been repeatedly telling that blind cricket, a strong foundation was laid in Karnataka and Bengaluru by GK Mahantesh along with Nagesh was a very close friend of Mahantesh and Nagesh. And Nagesh, unfortunately, became dearer to the Almighty, and all of a sudden he died, and Mahantesh was taken aback, but nevertheless he carried on the spirit of his friend Nagesh, and now making blind cricket a very strong foothold in the world, leading the way to the entire nation. And during the second semi-final, Karnataka versus Odisha, as the next one trying to look for a single, sent back. Rightly so, but then the umpire calling it a late wide. They didn't run, so there will be only one run, the IndusInd Bank Nagesh Trophy. As the next one from Baswaraj, outside the off-stump, struck very hard, nicely done, will find the gap, but smart piece of fielding in the deep again, restricting the scoring. So this is what Karnataka will have to do when a B1 bowler is bowling. If you're not able to pick up wickets, you need to cut the runs. Lokesh, the fielder on that occasion, making no mistake and stopping it. 111 for 2 as we are in the 12th over. Baswaraj, the vice captain. Wide outside. If he had left, definitely it would have been a wide. The ball was in the air for a long time. Again, a great fielding in the deep. Karnataka fielders have been spot on today. Again, Lokesh stopping a definite boundary. So 3 runs saved on that occasion, and in the previous ball also, he did save 3 runs for his team. As we watch the next one from Baswaraj, it's a good ball there. Doesn't give any width at all for the batsman. The batsman, however, playing it very well, saw the ball very early. So though it was a good ball, good cricketing shot by these two batsmen have ensured that even the good balls are converted into boundaries. And that's how they have done. It was just on the wicket, not much of width for the batsman, but saw the ball pretty early, placed it beautifully beyond the reach of any fielder, and another boundary. So the Odisha team doing it in style now, 116 for 2. Almost inching towards the 10-run per over mark. Fielded well in the deep on that occasion, as no run, in fact 1 run taken, Bhaskar the fielder. So 12 overs gone, 117 for 2, Odisha.
There's definitely some thinking to do for the Karnataka players, because this is a rock-solid partnership from Sukram Maji and Pankaj Bhuye. Where can they get a wicket from? How can they stem the flow of runs? Because at the moment, it's coming thick and fast. It's coming in all corners of the park. The leg side, the off side, front of the stumps, behind the stumps. And it's also understandable in a manner, because it's the B1 bowlers that are bowling and trying to get done with their quota of 8 overs that have to come from them. There are 2 more overs that need to be bowled by B1 bowlers, so you're likely to see this one bowled, and so it would mean just 1 more. Straight to the fielder. He's been a busy fielder all afternoon long, and he's stopped many a boundaries for his team. And we're seeing a Puneet KS there in the deep square leg region. He's been top class with his fielding. Right, where is that wicket coming from? Because at the moment it's just raining boundaries. They have some very good fielders in the boundary line on either side. Karnataka. 120 for 2. 12.2. How about that for a recovery? They've about 35 for 2 in 7 overs, or rather 5 overs. They've scored 85 runs in the last 7 overs. That's the way in which they've dominated the second half of this game so far. And it's been the two gentlemen in the center, Sukram Maji and Pankaj Bue. 75 deliveries bowled, 121 with 45 deliveries left. Anything's possible. 200 well on the cards. If the two of them hang in there, the boundaries will keep coming just the way they are right now. Spare a thought for Puneet. He's been made to run to the left, to the right, in every way possible on a hot Bangalore afternoon. Well, it's easy for us to sit in the shade here after a nice little lunch, but it isn't the same for the players in the center. It is scorching heat that we have here. And 2 runs to end the over. 13 overs completed. They're almost at the 10 to the over mark. 128 for 2. Sukram and Pankaj in the center. And Karnataka have a few questions that they need to answer, and answer very quickly indeed.
Go. 128 for 2. The semi-final match between Karnataka and Odisha for the Indus Bank Nagesh Trophy. As the two Odisha batsmen milking the Karnataka bowling. The men in blue here, Odisha, as both the batsmen are doing it in style. Sukram Maji and the vice captain Pankaj Bue. Not been dislodged at all, and some bowler will have to come up and bowl that beautiful delivery. And will this be Baswaraj now? Bowling his 4th over. Baswaraj, the final over, struck hard. And running between the wickets, sometime down the line we feel that the ball is hit straight to the fielder. The conversion of ones into twos has been not a regular feature in this partnership. They have not converted the 1.5 runs to 2. They have left it quite content with 1 run of a 1.5 run. And they need to convert those runs with 8 wickets in hand, and particularly after the 10th over, another wide sent down by Baswaraj. So we were talking about conversion of 1.5 runs into 2, which the Odisha batsmen have not done. Nevertheless, they have dealt in boundaries, but at the end of the day, it's a strong Karnataka batting lineup. Will that be the difference between the two teams? But the two batsmen don't think so after getting another boundary. So probably quite content in scoring the boundaries and missing out on those conversion of ones into twos. Whether that has played any role, we'll know in a few hours from now. As nicely struck through the mid-wicket. No chance whatsoever for any fielder. But Swaraj, after starting very well in the first 2 overs, has been pretty expensive in his bowling, and the captain persisting with him with back-to-back 4 overs. The last wicket fell at 39 which means these two batsmen have added 95 runs for the third wicket. Good partnership. Will this be the match-winning one? Time will say. Again, straying down on the onside. Umpire takes a deep look at it. And Baswaraj escapes. Almost close to a wide, that was. In addition to the players, the umpires also had to do a lot of exercise, declaring a lot of wides. 32 and 29 in the first match. And how many in this match too? We'll come to know at the end of the day, as another single taken by the two Odisha batsmen. Smart piece of fielding by the Karnataka captain. As Odisha now move on to 135 for the loss of 2 wickets. Straying down on the onside, utilizing it beautifully, nicely done, smacking it down to square leg for 4. Another costly over from Baswaraj, already 2 boundaries, 1 wide. And the partnership crosses the 3-figure mark. Nicely struck. No chance whatsoever, eyeing the gap very well on that occasion and beyond the reach of the fielder there in the deep, Harish S. They pick up another boundary here. So, as we were talking about singles, we are not interested, says Pankaj and his partner, making no mistake. Sukram Maji and Pankaj Buhe dealing with boundaries, easily done this time in this over of Baswaraj. So another boundary as Odisha march on. It definitely will be an uphill task for Karnataka when they come on to play later on, because Odisha have got 8 wickets in hand. And now we'll have to wait and see how Karnataka's bowler, Umesh, B2 bowler, will bowl. It's over to you, Navneet.
All right, it is the end of all the 8 overs that the B1 bowlers have to bowl. 14 overs completed, 143 for 2. They're striking now over 10 to the over. Outstanding piece of batting this from the two of them. But now is going to be the real test, because the B1 bowlers have finished their overs. So what is going to come the way of Pankaj and Sukram is going to be a lot harder, it's going to be a lot faster, and it isn't going to be easy for them to deal with. But can they still score at the same rate? Can they get those boundaries even now? Only time will tell. But some of those shots that they've played, and last over, the last couple of deliveries was testament to that. He is absolutely swatting them like bees at the moment. It was to the right of the square leg fielder first, and then to the left of the square leg fielder, giving no chance whatsoever for the fielder. He was hitting them convincingly. That's a good piece of fielding of his own bowling there. Very well done from Umesh CA. That's a good piece of fielding. Just the single though. Can they get a... Yes, they can sneak in a double as well. That's a good shot, and that's another boundary. A 150 comes up for Odisha, and well, the favorites, the finalists, are under a bit of pressure here. Everyone expected them to walk away with this game. But Odisha says, hang in there. We're here to fight. And at the moment, they're putting up more than just a fight. That is excellent. That is excellent. That is a good piece of bowling and a good comeback from Umesh. 15 overs completed. 152 for 2 at the end of 15. 200 well on the cards.
Fresh over begins as Karnataka bowler, of course, making no mistake there. The captaincy has done well. Karnataka, Umesh. In fact, Harish S is the bowler. So 2 good balls there. 153 for 2. Nevertheless, run rate almost 10 runs and over. Well directed ball, but equally well struck by the batsman. They look for the second run, and this time they complete it in style. Before the throw comes from Puneet, Karnataka won't mind conceding the 1s and 2s. But they need to cut off the boundaries. They've come in heaps when particularly Baswaraj was bowling, completing the quota of 8 overs. It was 2 B1 bowlers bowling in tandem. This time struck nicely, but will come straight to the fielder as Sunil, the skipper, stops. Has been guarding area for a very long time, and right through the innings must have saved at least 25 to 30 runs for his team. 156 for the loss of 2 wickets. As Karnataka fighting it out there after 39, they have not been able to dislodge this pair. They have put on 117 runs, and now even if a wicket falls, a B2 batsman can come into play, which means the B1 can come into play in the final overs. So if they can play another 2 overs or so, Odisha would have done their job in a professional way. This time struck hard, but very fast running by the skipper. Will not be able to cut it off, but valiant attempt made by Sunilar, but the ball will cross over the boundary. Another 4, 160 for 2. So keeping up their run rate of 10 runs and over, which means they are on a course for a total of 200. There you can watch, nicely struck. Fielder nowhere in sight, and suddenly before the ball reaches the boundary, comes on to the close to the ball, but the ball ultimately winning the race. And this time again struck very hard, and a little bit of misfield there. The combo not working. Umesh not able to stop that one. Another boundary there. So back-to-back boundaries for Odisha. It's not going to be easy for Karnataka to make their second entry into the final. Beautifully struck. What a shot. They are eyeing the spots very well, and this time it was Sukram Maji. So 2 back-to-back boundaries for Sukram. At the end of 16 overs, 164 for 2, 24 deliveries to go. And if they can manage to score another 40 runs, Karnataka will have a task on hand.
Well, those numbers on your screen says it all. It says more than what you can see, in fact, because and a no ball and a misfield. Well, Karnataka are sort of losing the plot here. They are under the pump, and Sukram, Pankaj are really drilling it into what many would say are the favorites today, Karnataka, really. Free hit, misfield, no ball. Sorry, there is no free hit. A rare single. It's just been only boundaries at the moment. 170 already, 16 overs. Remember, it was 35 at the end of 5 overs. We're talking 135 runs in 11 overs that the two of them have put on. 135 in 11 overs.
No, but cycle is how B1, B2, B3, B1, B2. That's how a B3 and B3 ended up.
Yeah. So they started with B3. Second cycle.
And another boundary now. And for those of you who are wondering how are there two B3 batsmen in the center, it's because the two wickets that have gone down have been that of a B2 and a B1 batsman. And so in the second cycle of batsmen, a B3 batsman came out to the center, and that meant that two B3s ended up together. And to give his partner company, Sukram has reached his half-century mark as well. And it's been Pankaj Bue who's been the aggressor, the dominant partner, but Sukram has been there and thereabouts. He's saying, I can match you shot for shot. And at the moment, he's doing exactly that. Oh, this has been fantastic from Odisha. Don't write them off. Don't you dare write them off. Karnataka may be favourites, all right, but this Odisha team will not go down without a fight. We still have 20 deliveries left in this innings. We're talking anything in excess of 30-35 runs. And that's close to 210 runs. And it has to be game on.
Karnataka may be favourites, all right, but this Odisha team will not go down without a fight. We still have 20 deliveries left in this innings. We're talking anything in excess of 30.
Right, final delivery of the 17th over. What do we have? Will that go on to the boundary line as well? Yes, it will. They go into the 180s. 17 overs completed, 182 for 2. Odisha are piling it on here. This is the most remarkable partnership. 150 of the partnership is going to come by very soon. 143 that they've added so far. This is potentially a match-winning partnership worthy of taking their team to the final. That is the importance. It's worth its weight in gold.
$182 for 2. 18th over. As Sunil will bowl now, captain. Somewhere down the line, if the result goes in your favor, you can always call the captaincy to be too good of completing the allotted quota of 8 overs in succession. But on the contrary, if you think on hindsight, it gives you an impression that when B1 bowlers are operating, the batsman will grow in confidence And that's what has happened for Pankaj and Maji, as well as doing it nicely for Odisha. And once they were set, the B2, B3 bowlers came on, but they were not being able to dislodge this pair. Will Sunil provide that all-important breakthrough which is required and restrict them below 200? 18 deliveries to go. Even if they score run a ball, they will touch 200, which will be a psychological pressure. Definitely it will apply on the opposition. Nicely struck, but only a single, as a smart piece of fielding in the deep by B2 fielder Lokesh. A runner ball is not a big issue, but if they get a wicket, they can even bowl a few dot balls. If they pick up a couple of wickets, then Karnataka would have definitely come back into the match. Sunil sweeps it hard. No chance whatsoever. So you allow the batsman to settle down with your B1 bowlers, and that's what happens. And that's what the strategy quite misfiring for Karnataka, so as to say. But if the result of the match goes in favor of Karnataka, then you never know. But credit cannot be taken away from the Odisha team, particularly these two batsmen who have been doing it in style, Sukram Maji and Pankaj Buhe. Struck beautifully, nicely stopped on his follow-through, a dot ball. 187 for 2. 3 more balls to go. In all probability, Sunil will bowl the 20th over also. Who will be bowling the 19th over will be interesting to note. And this time again, straying down on the line and length here. Pays the penalty for that. Another boundary. Sunil himself will have to be blamed for this blemish. Nicely struck. Back-to-back boundaries from Sukram Maji and Pankaj, and this was Pankaj on that occasion. 2 boundaries, and they have done the job. 191 for 2. As Sunil must stick to the basics of throwing it, or rather bowling it wicket to wicket. Again, straying down on the leg side, giving... It's not good bowling, because one cannot call it a poor bowling either, because it's been great batsmanship on the part of Odisha, and blame cannot be. 100 now. Good news comes in here. You might be wondering, 100 who has scored, it is Ravichandran Ashwin at Chepauk. But here, both Pankaj and Maji are on course to score 100 here, taking a cue from the seasoned batsman in Chidambaram Stadium, where India is on top against England.
6-2-4 to get his 100.
Nicely struck. Good piece of stoppage at the deep. Another good over for Odisha comes to an end. Sunil was expected to pick up a wicket, or at least not concede more than a boundary, but he conceded 3 of them. So it's been a good over, as a discussion with Jairamaya of the strategy to be employed in the final couple of overs. So it's been a good exhibition of power hitting by the 2 Odisha batsmen, Sukram Maji and Pankaj Buhe. Pankaj and Sukram doing it in style. 196 for the loss of 2 wickets. Pankaj 83, Sukram 70. 70 of 40, 83 of 50. And the last 2 overs will be interesting, on the verge of 200. Navneet, it's been great batting by Odisha.
'83 and 70. What a partnership this has been. 196 for 2, 12 balls remaining. We're talking at least 24 runs. You know what? Add 4. Add 4. The runs are coming thick and fast. The boundaries are coming thick and fast at the moment. Karnataka have absolutely no answer. They are dumbfounded. They are absolutely struck. They didn't see this coming. They have no idea what's hit them. And at the moment, they have no answers at all. 200 on the board for Odisha. And how many more is the big question? 11 deliveries remaining. Oh boy. Talk about domination. This is brutal. This is brutal from Sukram and Pankaj. 2 more. They just cannot seem to stop the runs. And will it be another one? No, they don't run over the overthrow. Don't ever run to an overthrow. And wide now. You can just see it with the body language of the Karnataka fielders on the ground. Drooping shoulders, not much chatter happening. It's because they've just been absolutely decimated by this partnership. Will that be the wicket? Will that be the wicket? No. It lobs up into the air, but falls in no man's land. 203. Partnership. 165 run partnership. You don't often see that in a game of T20 cricket. Shot. How many more? 4 more. Why do I even ask? It's just raining boundaries here at the Altior Sports Green Park ground. This was the previous delivery and a good stop at the boundary line from the captain. And a misfield. Guess what? That runs away to the boundary as well. Leg by signal by the umpire. Prakash Jairamaya with the gloves could not stop that one. And my goodness, we spoke about 210. They've done it already and we still have 7 balls to spare. Fantastic, absolutely dominating performance. They continue till the end of this innings. They'll end up close to a 200-run partnership. And we come into the end of the penultimate over. 119 overs completed, 213 for 2, and 6 deliveries to go.
So the final over now, it's going to be the captain, Sunil Ramesh, to bowl the final over, as both the batsmen have done exceedingly well. The quicker one, bowling him, and finally they're able to dislodge the pair, but not before Pankaj now walks back to the dugout, and some sort of a respite for the skipper Sunil, after doing so well in the fielding and not bowling so well in the 18th over, but then now making amends. And this final over, if they can restrict the Odisha team not to get more than 5-6 runs, then Karnataka will have a target of around 220, which is not going to be easy. if Karnataka will have to keep wickets in hand and utilize maximum of the B1 bowlers. And that's how Pankaj was out, bowled. The next batsman in, Singrai Maji. So 2 Majis, Pankaj Bhuye. So Pankaj back into the pavilion. So we have 2 Majis in the centers. In Kannada, Maji means former, but the surname here is Singrai Maji and Sukram Maji. Lal Prasad Soren, the new man in, B2 batsman. So the Odisha team have done their homework very well. If a wicket falls now, then a B1 batsman will have to come in. But in all probability, they will try to play out these 4 balls. Nicely struck, beautifully hit. But a good and smart piece of fielding in the deep there by Karnataka's fielder Lokesh, saving a couple of runs for his team. The Odisha team won't mind. They don't want a B1 player to come on. With just about 3 balls remaining, the combination of B2 and B3 will get them more runs. It's a good ball there. Not able to stop on his follow through. The ball is going towards the boundary. They look for the second run and they complete it quite comfortably in the end. 218 for 3 now. 19.4 overs. 2 more balls to go to end the innings. Nicely struck here. Lokesh has a lot of running to do. Will he be able to stop it? He won't. So the Odisha team doing it in style, putting pressure on Karnataka. Sunil faltering in line in length and conceding another boundary. 2-2 and a boundary. So doing it beautifully. The new man in, making no mistake, continuing from where the earlier batsman had left. So Odisha now inching towards a very big score in the last delivery of this. Struck it hard. They pick up a single. They will look for the second run. We'll have to wait and see. They'll go for the second run. They go for that. A run out request turned down by the umpire. So 2 runs to complete the innings. So 224, which means Karnataka will require 225 to win this encounter. 224 for the loss of 3 wickets. A couple of good partnerships, couple of Herculean efforts will be required from the Karnataka's perspective in order to win this match. Raising his hand. ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹಾಕಿದೆಯಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ. ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಹಾಕದೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ನಾವೇ ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಹಾಕೋತೀವಿ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಸಕ್ಕರೆ ಹಾಕಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. That's the scorecard. 31 extras conceded by Karnataka. Pankaj Bhuye bowled Sunil 88, was out in the last over. Sukram Maji not out on 87. Mohammad Jafar Iqbal consumed a few deliveries for his couple of runs. Nakula Badnaik 15 of 14 was looking in good nick. And Karnataka finally faltering with their conceding of extras 31. And Odisha ending up quite a good score of 224 for 3. A challenging turtle for Karnataka to chase. Talking about the bowling, Karnataka none for 26 Puneet, 1 for 23 Lokesh, none for 28 Harish. Watch out, 8 bowlers. Sunil bowled the last in the final phase of the game, conceded 25 runs, and Mohan Kumar none for 27. Baswaraj conceded 50 runs in his 4 overs, and the economical bowler was Loki and Harish were not considered to bowl after the 16th over. A little bit of thinking will have to go there. because they could have bowled the 2 overs in the final analysis. So 2 no balls, 25 wides and 4 leg byes, 31 extras, 2 for 39 and a 174 run partnership for the 3rd wicket, enabling Odisha to reach a comprehensive total of 224. And Karnataka now require 225 runs to win this encounter. So with this, this is Shankar Prakash along with my fellow commentator. Not to forget that we will be back with the efficient crew of Doordarshan and Navneet and myself saying bye-bye for now.
Enabling Odisha to reach a comprehensive total of 224. Karnataka now require 225 runs to win this encounter. With this, Shankar Prakash, along with my fellow commentator, not to forget that we will be back.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಎತ್ತಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಯಾಕಾಗಲ್ಲ? ಮನ್ಸು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮಾರ್ಗ ಉಂಟು. ಈ ನಾವು ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ರಿಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಕರೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬೇರೆ ವಿಷಯ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ರಿ ನಿಲ್ಸ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ಈಗ ನಾವು ರವಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ ರವಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡೋದು. ನಾವು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಡಿ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಬಿಸಿಲು ಬಂತು, ರವಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ರು ಕಾಮೆಂಟ್ರಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಅಂತ. ಫ್ಲೋರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಯಾಕೆ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ ಓದಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರು. ಸುಧಾಕರ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡು, ಮುಗೀತು. ಹೌದು ಸರ್, ಬನ್ನಿ ನಡೀರಿ ಹೋಗೋಣ, ನಾಳೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಬನ್ನಿ ಹೋಗೋಣ. ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂರಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನಾಳೆ 3 ಗಂಟೆ ಮೇಲ್ ಕಟ್ಟಬೇಕು, ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಉಪಯೋಗ?
Right, we are back with the second innings, the second semi-final, a place in the final up for grabs. And guess what? Karnataka have their task cut out. 225 the target. 225 runs stand in front of Karnataka for a place in the final. Can they do this? They have the ammunition, all right, and it's the man on your screen, Prakash Jairamaya. He is the star of this team. He really is one of the best in the business. He scored 99 against Pakistan in a World Cup final at the Chinnaswamy. Trust him to repeat it when it matters most. And just for your context, he scored 99 yesterday in the quarter-final. He loves 99. I'll tell you something, they'll need him to score all of those 99 runs today if they want to cross the line. And a wide will get Karnataka off the mark. And Prakash gets off the mark with a single down to the leg side. Wide. We saw 31 of them when Karnataka were bowling. Mind you, wides are a common occurrence in blind cricket in comparison to what you're used to seeing. So don't be surprised if you see 20 to 30 wides in an innings. But teams can do better to restrict them even more. And there you go, the first boundary for Karnataka, and they're well on their way. They require 11 to the over. Every over counts, every boundary counts. And a good start to the innings. Just a little bit of context to what happened in the quarterfinal to what got Karnataka here in the semi-final. They chased down 170 for no loss. That is right. They chased down 170 for no loss in just 13 overs. 13 and a half overs. It was the most ridiculous display of batting from Karnataka. They are brutal with the bat. They chased down 170 in a little over 13 overs. And, well, if against Tamil Nadu, their arch rivals, so if that is anything to go by, Karnataka will believe they certainly have what it takes to go past 225. It's Prakash and Umesh that will open the batting. End of the first over, and the score is 8 for no loss.
Nakul, the bowler now, as Karnataka chase down this mammoth total. If they stick to the form what they displayed yesterday, it may not be that much more that tough for the strong Karnataka batting lineup, but today is a different day altogether. So they need to get a good start. Both Umesh and Jairamaya will have to give that start. Umpire takes a deep look at the last moment, decides against not calling it a wide. As Nakul to bowl to Prakash, the non-striker. Vociferous appeal against Umesh. So B2, B3 combination. Prakash Jairamaya, the B3 at the non-striker's end, and B2 Umesh. Continuing from where they had left, they need to forge a good partnership here. Slow start though for Karnataka. 8 for no loss. It's good bowling by Nakul. Playing it onto the legs of Umesh. Umesh now will do well not to get frustrated. A couple of dot balls should not put pressure on the batsman and thereby gifting the wicket away. Takes a look around the field. Under pressure to score some runs now. Takes a reverse flick, turns it around, looks for a single. Smart piece of fielding. So the Odisha applying the brakes on Karnataka. As Nakula but Nayak takes the aerial route. No ball signal by the umpire. A little bit of misfield there. One no ball and a single taken. 2 runs. The halfway through no ball, the ball will have to pitch before that halfway line what you're observing on your screens. If it is not done, it will be called a no ball, but you will not get a free hit. An overstepping no ball only will get a free hit. Nakul sends the next one. Beautifully struck by. The ball stopped there. Almost fell on that billboard there. It looks like the batsman is very well home. But what a fielding there. You need to watch out there. Dangerous stoppage there in the boundary line. Unfortunately for the fielder, nothing untoward happened. $12 for no loss. Beautifully done. The ball will move towards the boundary line. A bit of misfielding there. After such good work, in the first over, and in the second over, little bit of misfielding by the B2 fielder Lal Prasad Soren. Lal Prasad did well in the final overs, but then conceded the boundary, what should have been a single. So 2 overs gone. At the end of 2 overs, Karnataka scoring at 8 runs per over, a 16 without loss.
After such good work in the first over and in the second over, little bit of misfielding by the keeper fielder Lal Prasad Soren. Lal Prasad did well in the final overs, but then conceded the boundary, what should have been a single. So 2 overs gone. At the end of 2 overs, Karnataka scoring at 8 runs per over, 16 without loss.
16 for no loss at the end of 2 overs. At the moment, Odisha will take this. It's a good solid start from them. Karnataka will need to get as many boundaries as they can every single over. This is a solid start. They're starting to pile on the pressure. The fielders are making noise. There is a buzz in the center. And why wouldn't they be that way? Because their batsmen have put up a fabulous show. And at the moment, it has to be Karnataka on the back foot. They're under the pump. They're under pressure. They are the favourites to win this. But right now, they have an upbeat Odisha giving them everything they have.
And why wouldn't they be that way? Because their batsmen have put up a fabulous show. And at the moment, it has to be Karnataka on the back foot. They're under the pump. They're under pressure. They are the favourites to win this. But right now, they have.
That is excellent. There's a reason why he is one of the best in the business in India. There's a reason why he is such a big, monumental figure in this Karnataka team and the Indian team. When he plays shots like that, the bowler's bowling well, he's ripping it in. And cheeky, so cheeky from Prakash Jairamaya, just angles it with the reverse flick. And he finds the gap between short fine leg and gully.
In India, there's a reason why he is such a big, monumental figure in this Karnataka team and the Indian team.
Shot.
He plays shots like that. The bowler's bowling well.
No run this time, though, just straight to the mid-wicket fielder. This is such an important partnership. Karnataka will have to start well. They definitely have so many good batsmen to follow, but the onus will be on the two of them. And again, he doesn't make good contact this time around. Will just get only the single. Will they scamper through for the second? No, they decide against it.
No run this time, though, just straight to the mid-wicket.
22 for no loss at the end of 3. This is good stuff from Odisha. Karnataka require over 200 now from 17 overs.
Odisha. Karnataka require over 200 now from 17 overs.
Karnataka continue their quest to score runs. .23 for no loss. ಏನು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಬಿಸ್ಲಿದೆ. 2 balls already in this over. It's been a good over so far by Odisha. Smart piece of fielding, good run, good throw there, but they have decided not to take the second run. So Umesh and Prakash Jairamaya finding it rather difficult, understandably so. We have a B2, B3 bowlers. So the 8 overs which a B1 bowler will have to bowl in the allotted quota of 20 overs, probably they will capitalize on that. But they need to be careful. They should not get frustrated. They've started in a set way, understandably so, but then they need to keep the wickets. But this time the ball will go towards the boundary. It will not reach, and they'll have to remain content with only a single. So Odisha proving time and again that they are no less to Karnataka in terms of fielding, doing exceedingly well, and 25 for no loss. We are in the 4th over, so run rate of just 6. Odisha also, while starting off, they were scoring at around 7 runs per over. Wickets are the key, nicely struck. And in the power play, they'll have to capitalize on the power play conditions, but they are not able to do that as Karnataka move on to 26 without loss. The second semi-final against Odisha in the IndusInd Bank Nagesh Trophy for supremacy in domestic cricket in India. Andhra Pradesh, the defending champions, already in the finals, and Karnataka fighting it out against Odisha. Nicely struck. The ball will be stopped. Smart piece of fielding in the deep. Team Odisha have saved lots and lots of runs. Smart piece of fielding there in the deep. And at the end of 4 overs, Karnataka fighting it out, 27 without loss.
.27 for no loss at the end of 4. Karnataka will have to get a move on very quickly. Time is slowly but steadily running out for them. They need some big hits, and that is one of them. Add 4 more to the total. Prakash Jairamaya has got an eye in now. 4 overs he would fancy is more than enough. And now it's time to go after the bowling. Right, they need to go at 11 to the over, so they should be around the 44-run mark at this stage. There are 31. Is that a wide? It is just outside the blue line. Oh, lucky, very lucky. There was a fielder there at short fine leg, but he unfortunately couldn't stop it. And that goes over for another boundary, and they've quickly piled on 9 runs in just the 2 deliveries. Lucky there, got the outside edge. This time down the leg side. There is a fielder there, so it's just going to be the single, and he's going to rotate the strike to Umesh now. They've got the 10 from this over. You want to take this over by over. Focus on what's needed, one small step at a time, and at the moment 10 per over will be a good start. And they've gotten that 10 in the first 3 balls itself in this over. And another dot ball. But very tidy stuff from Odisha. They haven't given away too many extras, and they've been tidy with their lines. Their fielding's been on the mark. They're making Karnataka earn every single run. Just as I say that, Just as I say that, it's the commentator's curse, and they bring out another wide. No, no, no. Be careful. You don't want to give away a run out at this stage. This is a good comeback from Sukram Maji. He was the star with the bat. He is quite a sensation, is Sukram Maji. Shot, fantastic shot, and add for more. That's as convincing a sweep shot you'll see all day long. There was a fielder there stationed exactly for that shot, but even he couldn't cut it off. Just 3 steps to his left, but the ball sped past him. Look at that. Neatly struck right out of the meat, out of the bat. And 5 overs completed, 42 for no loss, and they've gone past 8 to the over. So a good, really good over for Karnataka. They got 16 from that.
Nakul 42 without loss. Nakul Badnaik completing the quota. So Karnataka need not be worried because the B2, B3 bowlers are completing the quota. And that's good because a B1 bowler will come on to bowl sooner or later. Nicely struck by Prakash Jairamaya. Beautifully struck for 4. .46 without loss. Slowly and steadily clawing their way back into the match, Karnataka. 46 for no loss. Nakul straying down on the onside. The ball trickles. Fortunately for Prakash Jairamaya, the ball doesn't roll over to the stumps. 46 for no loss. 5.2 overs. Beautifully struck, equally well fielded. What it was for a moment looked like that, but then, and inches before the boundary line. We'll have to wait and see. It looked as though the ball was picked up on the ropes. 48 for no loss, 5.3 overs. As there you can see the misfield. The anticipation was a little away from track, stopping it inches before the boundary line. Nicely struck there on the onside. They're looking for a single.
Single run has been taken. Good running between the wicket as well as good piece of fielding there by Odisha.
49 for no loss. 5.4 overs, 2 more balls to go as Umesh takes strike to Badnaik. Nakul Badnaik. It's been a good over there from Nakul. Nicely struck through the mid-wicket region, picks up a single, and 50 for Karnataka. 50 without loss, and that's the key. 5.5 overs, another ball to go in this over. As for the last time in this over, Nakul Badnaik to bowl to Prakash Jairamaya. Finds the gap. The batsmen have picked up a single. That's all they'll get. A little bit of backup in the deep, ensuring that only a single is taken. So 6 overs gone, 51 without loss after 6 overs.
After the completion of 6 overs, 51 for no loss. Prakash not out on 32 and Nagesh not out on 14. After the completion of 6 overs, 51 no loss.
So now that we've come to the end of the 6-over mark, the B1 bowlers can now start bowling, and they have to get in their quota of 8 overs. Karnataka had all 8 overs on the trot between 6 to 14, and that's why they conceded that massive partnership. It started off in that region, and Tapan Kumar now is going to bowl the 7th over. 51 for no loss Karnataka. How much can they score in these 8 overs? That'll come. Oh, no, that is scary. They'll need that man to bat as long as he can. Prakash Jairamaya, the team looks up to him. Everyone does. And especially on the big occasion, they want him to score as many as he can. He's done that. He scored 99 just yesterday. And, well, a nice solid shot. Ooh, solid shot straight down the ground. Just the single, though.
Good bowling by Tapan Kumar Gowda.
You know, the B1 bowlers, they are completely blind, so very likely that the pace at which they will bowl at will be a lot slower, because what they're focusing on is more on their line than the pace. And by virtue of the deliveries being relatively slower, it just gives that much more time for the batsmen to play the bigger shots. And that's why it's a very strategic phase in a T20 game for the blind, where the batsmen look forward to these 8 overs to try to capitalize and get as many runs as they can. And you can see what Jairamaya and Umesh are doing here. They got themselves in. They played those first 6 overs with a bit of caution, I'd like to say, and they did get 50 runs in the process, which was extremely important, because you don't want to be too much behind the 8 ball in a high-pressure semi-final. But now, in the next 8 overs, with the B1 bowlers likely to be bowling majority of them, every now and then, just when I say that they're relatively slower, every now and then you'll see a quicker one come in from the B1 bowlers, and Tapan Kumar here did exactly that. So required run rate almost 13 to the over. You want to keep one eye on that for sure, because you don't want that number to be creeping too high, because before you know it, it probably isn't going to be manageable. And well, a few extras, wides, and more so if it's a wide 4, it'll help the clock, it'll help the cause for sure. So Karnataka just gifted 5 runs there. Just when I was saying that Tapan Kumar was doing a fabulous job in this over, he gives 5 runs to the opposition. And another single to end the 7th over, and the score is 61 for no loss at the end of 7. .67, 61 at the end of 7. It's going to be the captain now, Mohammad Jafar, who's going to be bowling from the pavilion end.
A B1 bowler. The skipper starts off with a wide. They touch the stumps to see the distance from which they can deliver the ball, so that they won't send in wide deliveries. It requires a lot of precision and concentration. And there you can see total concentration there. Mohammad Iqbal Jafar. But struck very hard. Only a single. The 2 B1 bowlers of Odisha have done well, though the final ball prior to that, 5 wides were conceded. 63 without loss. Karnataka now slowly hovering around a run rate of 9. They need to step it up. as Umesh takes strike. To the next one from Mohammad Jafar Iqbal. Beautifully struck. The ball will come towards the boundary, but will not hit the boundary. As a smart piece of fielding there by Jagdish. As in fact it was Sukram Maji, the fielder on that occasion, making no mistake. 8th over in progress, 64 for no loss. Jairamaya on strike, takes a look around the field, knows fully well that 8 overs from B1 bowlers will be crucial. Picks the length from outside the off stump, finds the gap, the ball is going towards the boundary. But a smart piece of fielding in the deep there by Singrai Maji. Makes no mistake and stops the ball from reaching the boundary. So it's good stuff from Odisha. They're able to contain the rampaging Indian opener, Karnataka openers. In fact, they scored a 10-wicket victory yesterday, continuing from where they are left today. And that's a little bit of a cheeky stroke. Lucky also. But we'll have to wait and see whether the boundary will become a possibility of a run out, and it's gone. A big mistake there. Is this the end of the road for Karnataka? There was no need to run for that. We'll have to wait and see, but the umpire is having other ideas because the ball might, if it has crossed over to the boundary. Both the batsmen are discussing, and we'll have to wait and see whether the boundary will be given. So the second run, and there you can see a half-hearted anticipation and no problems at all negotiating that. And a wicket falls, which was not required. So finally, continuing from yesterday, a little bit of mix-up. Umesh perishing. Prasanna Jairamaya was in two minds to take that run, but seeing the rampaging Umesh, conceded. He thought that the throw will be wide, but an accurate throw from the deep, signaling the end of Umesh. And Baswaraj now is the batsman coming in, so the captain proving lucky for his team. 66 for 1, so match on the cards. The two openers have put up a good partnership, but will that be enough? Wide, starts off with a wide, so B1 to B1. Baswaraj bowled well with the first over, and now being signalled by the umpire to start the bowling from his line and length, adjusts it for the distance. As Iqbal starts to Baswaraj, unable to middle that, but manages to keep his feet inside the crease firmly. Baswaraj waits for the next one from Iqbal. Unable to middle that. Again, smart piece of bowling by Iqbal. End of the over. So it's been a good comeback by Odisha. Unnecessary run out. But Umesh stays back as a runner for the B1 player Baswaraj. Jairamaya will have to do all the hard work now to guide Karnataka to safety. Umesh back in the pavilion, and that was the reason they were looking for the boundary. They picked up the first run fast. They were in two minds whether to take the second one or not, but finally they decided to take that, and thereby perishing.
Just when they were getting a move on, getting some sort of momentum, they are pegged back by a big wicket. And it's moments like these, it's like the tiny moments, and the team that wins those moments is very likely to end up on the winning side today. No, he's doing this a little too often. He's missed more often than not today, Prakash Jairamaya, with that sweep, the reverse sweep.
After the completion of 8 overs, 67 for 1 wicket.
They need him to stay as long as possible, and the required run rate is over 13 to the over. So they need to get a minimum of 2 boundaries every single over. Oh, that has to be a boundary. He had his feet outside the boundary line. It's a wide and a stumping as well. Karnataka slowly losing their way a little bit here. They've lost momentum, they've lost a couple of wickets, and Odisha are certainly in the driver's seat. Oh boy, 8.4, 69 for 2. Not looking that good at the moment. And the batsman's now going to make way for the captain, Sunil Ramesh. You know what, you got to feel that it is going to be this partnership for Karnataka. It is either the two of them or this may not be within their reach. Prakash Jairamaya and Sunil Ramesh, the captain and their star batsman. And Odisha will know that. They will know that if they can get through these two, they might just book themselves a place in the final.
The two umpires probably discussing about the dismissal of Umesh. Umpires Prasanna Raj and Sairam. And talking on the walkie-talkie. Probably with the TV replays showing clearly that the fielder had overstepped. And that was a run out on that occasion. And the batsman was declared out. Definitely a wide, a quick run taken. 72 for 2, Karnataka, by virtue of that wide as well as the crossing over. 1+1 as Sunil waits for the next one. The skipper, he needs to play a captain's knock, and Prakash Jairamaya will have to give him company. Karnataka should at least get 150. Another 75 runs with these two players in place. Struck very hard, only a single to end the over. Karnataka 73 for 2. And scoring at just around 8 runs per over. If they have wickets in hand in the final 10 overs or so, they can pick up the run rate. But 2 overs already bowled by B1, which means another 6 overs to go. So another 6 overs from B1, if they can score about 15 runs per over, 90 runs. They need to target at least 14 to 15 runs per over when a B1 bowler bowls.
Very short. Prakash.
That's what we're talking about. That's what we're used to seeing. That's the trademark. Prakash Jairamaya confidence on the up. He struck that so fiercely. Don't put your hand in that. Don't put your hand on the way of that shot because it's going to do more damage than good. He struck that brutally hard. And 77 for 2, 9.1. It's over 14 runs to the over. Karnataka really have to get a move on now.
After this over, the big break, and it is the old days to be ready. 147 required in 11 overs.
Shot. Just the single though. He's a quality batsman, is the captain, Sunil Ramesh. But he will need to bring all his experience into play. They will need to bring out their A game because they're up against an Odisha side. They're at the moment calling the shots. And the captain, Mohammad Jafar, has marshalled his troops so very well with the bowling, with the field placing, and initially with the batting. Two batsmen led the charge. And they took their team to 224. That is a massive total. Doesn't matter which format, what cricket you're watching. A good shot. That will be a boundary. And another boundary to Prakash Jairamaya. He's slowly and steadily getting a move on. He's going to be the key figure. He finished at 99 yesterday. Can he get to 3 figures today? That is the big question. If he does, Karnataka will get mighty close to this.
So these two are the very experienced batsmen for Karnataka, and they play today for India as well.
And another boundary. He's targeting the field. He saw who was at mid-wicket and he hit that to precision. Straight to the mid-wicket fielder, but he was a B1 fielder, so very hard for him to sight that, and it goes over to the boundary. And guess what? In the process, Prakash Jairamaya has already reached the half-century mark. He does it so nonchalantly. Even before you know it, you almost get the feeling that he hasn't got into 4th gear yet or even 5th gear, and he's already hit 50 of 32. That's what he does. That is what he does. He scores big daddy hundreds, or daddy 50s, as you may say. Another one down the leg side. Will that be cut off? Yes, it will. Just the single that will bring Sunil Ramesh back on strike.
The protection is there at the square leg umpire. Behind the square leg umpire pushes the ball and cross for an easy single, and they move on to 87. So Prakash completes his 50 of how many balls? 33 balls. Lovely shot. This time towards the mid-off. Cross for easy single, and the score was over 88. Prakash is batting on 50, 52, 33 balls and 8 boundaries. Majorly, the game is dependent on Prakash and Sunil now. They have to build the partnership here for the 3rd wicket and try to get as many scores as possible.
That is a good finish to the over. 10 overs completed, 88 for 2.
88 for the loss of 2 wickets. Required run rate 13.7. Difficult but not impossible. Prakash Jairamaya helping himself with another half-century. So getting into his 50 in the first 10 overs, which means in all probability in the next 10 overs, if he stays, he will be in for 100, which he missed out yesterday. Yesterday he scored 99. And we'll have to wait and see. The Odisha skipper said that all the 5 matches they won the toss, Mohammad Iqbal, and that's the reason why they took batting. Now, if the law of averages catches up with Odisha, then Karnataka will be in the driver's seat. But they have done well in the first 10 overs. The Odisha team, 8.8 runs per over. The required run rate is 13.7. So it would be interesting to watch what they'll be able to do in the remaining 10 overs. So 100 balls and 137 runs required. So if you take the equation of number of balls and the number of runs scored, it seems possible with the talent which Karnataka has, 100 balls and 137. But they need to keep the wickets. And this pair is very, very important. Now the cycle of B1, B2, B3 is over. Now, just like Odisha, batsman number 4 has been B3. So if these 2 batsmen can bat another 5 to 6 overs, a B2 player can come over, and thereafter the B1. So it's pretty imperative, and it goes without saying that these 2 batsmen will have to play as long as possible, because if a B1 player comes through, then it'll be difficult for the Karnataka team to step up the run rate. Tapan is the bowler. B1. Tapan to bowl. And taking strike is Sunil Ramesh, the skipper. 137 required. 60 balls to go. I beg your pardon, not the 100. 60 balls to go. So it looks almost 2 runs a ball as Tapan bowls to Sunil. Strikes it hard. Will the ball go to the boundary to start with? Yes, it does. Stand and deliver. Karnataka require more of those. At least 2 boundaries and over, which will keep them in the hunt. And whenever the B1 bowler is in operation, they need to pick up as many runs as possible. 8 overs of them, if they can pick up 120 runs in those 8 overs, it will be an easy final 4 overs for Karnataka. We'll have to wait and see how much more Sunil can score in this over. Strikes it hard. They pick up a single. They look for the second, but rightly sent back as the fielder from Odisha, Sukharam Maji, a B3 player, stops, and whenever a B3 player is in view, the batsman will not take chance. 5 runs of 2 balls. You require 13.7 per over. Strikes it hard. Beautifully done. And the ball will cross over the boundary for 4. Trying to cut it off on the occasion and not been able. Pretty successful. And 4 runs to Karnataka. Prakash Jairamaya helping himself with another boundary. .225 the target, 97 for the loss of 2 wickets. Prakash Jairamaya looking pretty composed there. Wide, moving further away. Umpire has no problems calling it a wide. It's another run, so it's been a good over. After the drinks break, the 11th over. Karnataka need more of those, as they also conceded through a B1 bowler many runs. 2 boundaries already, 2 extras, 3 more balls to go. So on track in this over. Strikes it hard, but will not go to the boundary. A smart piece of fielding in the deep by Odisha. Pankaj Buhe, the vice captain, the fielder on the occasion. 99 for 2 now. 2 more balls to go from this over of Tapan. Missing the line of the ball completely. Sunil blaming himself for that. Saw the ball early, but went for the shot also early. Anand was not able to connect. A missed opportunity. But this time Sunil doesn't miss, but a smart piece of stoppage in the deep as Buhe runs across, stops and reduces the scoring to only a single. 100 comes off for Karnataka, 100 for 2 after 11. Still a lot of hard work to be done. 125 now required out of 9. Difficult task, but not impossible, so long as Prakash Jairamaya and Sunil Ramesh are there in the middle.
Shankar, stick your tongue out. Come on, give me a prediction. 9 overs left in the game. Who are you going with?
Well, as a commentator, I would say may the better team win, but as a Kannadiga, I would always say let Karnataka win.
I like that answer. Yeah, the home team, they have good support today. But they have their task cut out. 125 in 9 overs. You don't often see that being scored. A team will have to bring out their A game. At the moment, they're getting a couple of boundaries all right in every over. But there is a ball or two that could be dispatched that they're missing out on. And what that's doing is it's giving them about 10 to the over, but they're needing 13. And every time they fall short by 3 to 4 runs, it's piling on. Shot, beautiful. He just found the gap to precision. Such quality there from Prakash Jairamaya. And everyone's looking at him, rightly so. He's got all the shots in the book. He can play all around the park. And there's some sort of noise that's coming from the Karnataka dugout as well. They need all the support they can. Sunil Ramesh will be happy to play second fiddle and play supporting act to Prakash Jairamaya. But they need to get more boundaries. They're getting 2 every over. They've gotten 1 in this over already. Can they get a couple more? That is a good shot, but straight to the long on fielder, just the single. It's now up to Sunil Ramesh. That is a wide, and you know what, I have to call out the discipline of the Odisha bowlers in this innings. They haven't given away too many extras. "17 that have come so far. Karnataka gave away 31. So really the onus is on these 2 batsmen. They've only gotten the 1 boundary in this over, and this was what I was talking about. They're not losing wickets. The 2 of them are sticking around. They're getting that odd boundary or 2, but they need more than that. And they're looking around, they're scanning the field, they're trying to find the gaps. They're trying to find places that they can score off. That is a wide, will be signalled a wide. He shouldn't have gone after that, but he was hoping that he could make full use of that delivery to get probably more than just the 1 that the wide would give him. But the ball will be re-bowled, and maybe this time around he can capitalize and get it right out of the center. Shot. That'll be a boundary. That'll be a boundary. Though, sorry, my apologies. It cuts off my vision in where I'm seated in the ground. That strategic field placing, you'd have to say, right behind a B1 fielder at the boundary line. So credit to Mohammad Jafar and the Odisha team. They're sticking to the basics. They're getting their basics right. Shot. Excellent shot. Once again, straight to the fielder. Just the 1 boundary from this over. And it is now Nelson on the scoreboard. 1-1-1 for 2 at the end of 12. And the run rate is 9.25. They need to go at more than 13. Or rather 14. 14.25 for 8 overs. Is that possible for the favourites? All to play for.
Karnataka required 114 runs and 48 balls.
14.25 the run rate required. Difficult but not impossible so long as Prakash Jairamaya and Sunil Ramesh are there in the middle. But they need to pick up a minimum of 12 runs and over. From now on, a minimum of 12. There's another B1 bowlers, and the Odisha team are doing it well. They're finishing their quota of 8 overs of B1 very quickly. Doesn't get hold of it properly. A dot ball. Tapan doing it well. And Prakash Jairamaya often not in touch. And Sunil in particular has been found wanting on numerous occasions. Has not been able to middle the ball well and get a boundary. Prakash might have faltered a couple of occasions, but Sunil on a regular basis not able to get the boundaries is required. Strikes it hard, will only get, bit of misfielding, and that has helped the cause of Karnataka. This time it was the turn of Pankaj Buhe, the vice captain, who did so well so far. Has done so well so far, but this time a little bit of extra bounce there and missing it, allowing a boundary. 115 for 2. They need more of those. Strikes it hard. You have to strike in the gaps. Beautiful. Smart piece of fielding. And this time, Pankaj Buhe doesn't falter. Does well. Offers his hand in the line and direction of the ball and was able to stop 3 runs for his team. 116 for 2. 3 more balls to go. It's Tapan to Jairamaya now. Strikes it hard, and that's what we have been telling about. Hitting it straight to the fielder. Pankaj Buhe making no mistake. So 4 balls already gone. Only a boundary so far in this over. And the B1 bowlers are completing their allotted quota of 8 overs. So it doesn't make good reading for Karnataka's quest to enter into the final. Sunil will have to get his timing right, and there it is, missing the line of the ball completely. Another dot ball. Frustration mounting slowly and steadily in the minds of Karnataka skipper, particularly Sunil Ramesh. Jairamaya though was not able to connect in this over, so only a boundary in this over, just about 8 runs. Up to 10 runs the Odisha team won't mind, but this time strikes and will go to the fielder. That's been a good display of bowling by Tapan. And will this be the game-changing over? Only the time will tell. And now 107 required out of 7 overs. 107 runs required.
Okay, 107 from 7 overs. What do we have now? Let's go. The final passage of play, and they're doing this is Odisha. Mohammad Jafar, he is making every ball count. When everyone thinks that the B1 bowlers are who you can capitalize on, the B1 bowlers are sneaking in some really, really crucial overs. He's doing everything he can, he really is. It's been a one-man show so far. Spare a thought for Prakash Jairamaya. How often does he carry the shoulders of Karnataka? And ever so often, even for Team India as well. He's doing this on his own. He needs some support. Sunil Ramesh has smashed the odd boundary, but he's missed several of those deliveries as well. Now Jairamaya quite literally has to go for every other delivery. It's close to 15, no, over 15 per over. They'll need that one over that will probably give them that 20 runs, the momentum switch and some sort of confidence. And that man on your screen, Sunil Ramesh, will have to start off on that 20-run over. Maybe, is this the over? Is this the over? There you go. Another dot ball. 2 dot balls in 3 deliveries. And Jeremiah is stranded on the non-striker's end. .123 for 2 in 13.4. Oh my word. No one saw this coming. No one saw Odisha scoring 225, and no one predicted Karnataka to be under pressure chasing this down. They chased yesterday's total down with 10 wickets in hand, and they did it in the most convincing fashion. Have a look at this. Have a look at this. It almost feels like Prakash Jairamaya and Sunil Ramesh are batting on 2 different wickets. Sunil is just not able to get it off the square, and Jairamaya is just standing and delivering. He has to hog as much of the strike as he can. Look at that, as sweet as it comes. Straight out of the center of the bat, and it went like a tracer bullet. They've gotten 2 boundaries in this over. Can you make it 3? Mohammad Jafar, you have to hand it to them. The B1 bowlers have done an astounding job. Now I'm going to take that back. The commentators curse once again. A wide delivery by the captain. Just the single may just be the right option, because that brings Prakash back on strike for the next over. But what that'll also do is it will increase that required run rate, and it's already climbing pretty steeply. They need 96 in 6 overs. 16 runs to the over. Have a look at that. Prakash Jairamaya is striking at almost 150, and Sunil is just a little over 100, and that has been the difference. Sunil's just not been able to get it. Maybe one or couple of boundaries. That's all he needs, maybe from the center of the bat, to bring back that confidence. But I'm going to try to check if we are done with the B1 overs. Let me try to give you a sense if we've completed the B1 overs. How many do we have left? It's done. 8 overs. All 8 have been bowled from over 6 to 14, and they really have done a brilliant job. Probably given away 60 to 70 runs in those 8 overs, and you will take that.
Prakash Jairamaya on your screen. Tremendous responsibility on him, as Sunil Ramesh will have to step up the run rate. 16 runs and over. So 3 boundaries. And the 3 singles also will not do. It's pretty difficult to hit a 6 on this ground. But the ball comes trying to take the aerial route. Will the ball go towards the boundary? It won't. It will be cut off inches before the boundary line. And Prakash Jairamaya. The Odisha team won't mind that, conceding 2s, 3s. As Karnataka slowly and steadily losing the plot here. 225. They gave too many runs when the B1 bowlers were in operation. This time it's a good shot there, but will not go to the boundary again. So the field placement has been pretty impeccable from the Odisha team management. Mohammad Jafar Iqbal And a smart piece of fielding in the deep by Lingaraj Rautra. Reverse sweep. Nothing working for Sunil today. Dot ball. 132 for 2. Tension on the face of Sunil. Takes the aerial route. We'll have to wait and see whether that'll be a 6. A superb catch in the deep. And that crossed over. Nevertheless, it won't matter at all. And now a B2 batsman will come in, and if another wicket falls, a B1 batsman will have to come. Taking the aerial route, no option at all for him to do that. And what a smart piece of catch in the deep. Beautifully done. As that was a catch taken by Lingaraj Rautra. Lingaraj Rautra making no mistake. And is this the beginning of the end for Karnataka in this year's competition? Morning we were talking about defending champions Andhra to be eliminated from the tournament, but a different ball game together. It was almost like a foregone conclusion that Karnataka will beat Odisha after their performance yesterday. But cricket, anything can happen. 132 for 3. Now everything is resting on the shoulders of Prakash Jairamaiah. The new batsman in is Lokesh to join Jairamaiah. Precision turns it around with the reverse flip. Still the boundary has eluded. It's been a great over from the point of view of Odisha. As good bowling by Odisha. Pankaj Buhe doing well in the fielding department and now doing well bowling as Loki. Lokesh takes strike, finds the gap. The ball is going towards the boundary. Will it be cut off? Yes, the spirited Odisha fielding. Good bit of fielding, saving at least 2 runs for the team. As Sukaram Maji making no mistake, stopping it well. 135 for 3 now. 15 overs gone. Looks like curtains for Karnataka. Until and unless nothing short of a miracle should happen. But so long as Prakash Jairamaiah is there, in the next 3 overs, Navneet, you would agree with me that the decision of this match will be taken, because the next 3 overs, they need to score at least 15-16 runs per over to stay in the hunt.
You expect them to try something different. Maybe Prakash stays on strike and maybe not even take a couple of singles, even if it's on offer. Stays on strike, banks on boundary deliveries, and probably does it on his own, because the 30 deliveries that are pending, Prakash will have to play quite literally every one of them if they want to stand a chance of winning this game. Something gives me the impression that even he thinks this is a tall order. And I think it's a combination of 2 things. Sukram Maji Singrai Maji will bowl. Will that be a wide? Yes, that is a wide. Right, so I just think it's a combination of 2 things. Maybe an out of form Sunil Ramesh wasn't able to find the middle of the bat, and that strike rate of his did cost Karnataka a bit, and also a very disciplined effort with the ball by Odisha. Look at Prakash. He's just doing it so easy, nice and easy. It doesn't have to be all muscle and power every single time. You can just use the pace of the bowler, and more often than not, you'll get more runs than you look for. And it's just such smart thinking by Prakash, but unfortunately, he hasn't had enough of the strike, and that's cost Karnataka dearly. He's still lining him up, he's still scanning the field, he's still trying to think of where his next scoring opportunity is going to come from. There you go. Look at that. Can he get two? Can he get two? I don't see him rushing back for the second, so he's happy with the single. I wonder if they're resigning to their fate. I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm saying this a little too early. But is this a little too much even for Karnataka? Another single, straight to the fielder. Singles aren't going to cut it anymore. They just simply are not enough. 142 for 3 at the end of 15.3. They scored 170 in 13 and a half overs yesterday, so you can imagine the rate at which they were going. But they just haven't found their bearing right today. Shot. Excellent shot. Add four more. Add four more. Prakash, very likely that every second delivery that he plays will be a boundary. But that's what I'm bringing up again. Should he play every single ball? Maybe it comes at the cost of turning around a few singles. But I just think that is better because he is the one who's going to give you those boundaries. There you go, another boundary, another boundary. He'll just keep hitting them. He will keep finding the boundary, mind you. He is a star talent. But is it a little too late? That is the question. He's gotten 3 boundaries in this over. Can he get one more? Can this be that little switch that they're looking for? There you go, another shot. Will that find the gap as well? And fantastic. This is what it means to Odisha. They will put their bodies on the line. That is absolutely fielding of the highest quality. Remarkable commitment there. 16 overs completed, 152 for 3. And they still need 73 from 4 overs. Oh boy, we're going down to the wire. Outrageous attempt at the boundary line there. Every run counts and he's just saved his team few runs there. Fantastic. Absolutely remarkable.
"24 balls, 73 required." So 24 balls. If you score Prakash will have to get at least 20 runs an over now. So 19 runs per over is what is required. And if you hit 5 boundaries is what is required. Not a single. So what should be the story of this? Like a textbook cricket, 5 boundaries, take a single of the last ball.
Shankar, even if he doesn't get 5 boundaries, I would say Prakash has to play practically every one of those 24 deliveries. Cut out the single. He must have that communication with the non-striker. Tell him that this is what I'm thinking. And if they have that clarity, he will give you those 3 to 4 boundaries every single over. And you might just take it down to the wire.
87 of 50 now. They've taken the single and moves on to 88. When Prakash Jairamaya did not score a century, Karnataka and India won. In the 2017 World Cup, 99 not out. Yesterday, 99 not out. Karnataka won. But today he may get to a century, but Karnataka may not win. Picks up a single, looking for the second run, but Prakash is not interested. Understandably so. Tired in this hot, scorching sun here at Bengaluru.
It's quite simple. Stand and deliver. Don't run. It looks like he's hobbling in the center. He doesn't seem to be running very well. Just stand and deliver. you'll get those runs. You'll get those odd boundary for sure.
Looks like completing the formalities there. You can't expect even a Jayaramaya somewhat close to a Don Bradman in this format of the game. Just 9.39 run rate. They gave away too many runs when B1 bowlers were bowling from Karnataka's perspective. Smart piece of fielding, good field placement. Singraj Maji there, stopping it very easily. And now Odisha will probably go into the finals to meet Andhra Pradesh tomorrow. Struck hard, back along the track, looking for a single. Only a single. Only one boundary so far. Gets into his 90s, 90 of 50. And as said, definitely he will finish the day with a century. But Karnataka may end up losing this game. Somewhere down the line, the run out of the opening pair might have costed Karnataka the match, as Sunil was not able to middle the ball well. Struck hard by Lokesh. Will only get a single. 17 overs gone, 158 for 3, 67 required of 3.
Right, 3 overs remaining, 67. Well, I just think that the writing is pretty clear on the wall. It seems like it's going to be Odisha versus Andhra Pradesh in that big final tomorrow. Not many predicted this. Not many wrote this script, that I can tell you for sure. Because everyone that came into this ground today predicted Karnataka storming into that final tomorrow. Sukram Maji was just simply outstanding with the bat. I happened to hear him speak at a conclave just a couple of days ago about the role that blind cricket has played in his life. And I'll tell you something, this man is a supremely talented player. He is a role model to many, many people. And he's from a very humble background. And is today, you know, the way he put it, that never did he see a time when he will be asked to do so many interviews and people asking him to share his story. And that's because that's the kind of journey that Sukram has had. It's not just what he's done on the cricket field, but it is everything that he stands for in life that's just been inspirational for so many people around him. And that is the story really of blind cricket in India, the development of it. They are giants in world blind cricket. And the Cricket Association for the Blind in India and Samarthanam have been the backbones. They have, for everything that they have fought for, Cabby and Samarthanam, this is so heartening to see. The quality of cricket is because of years and years of hard work of not just the cricketers, but the administrators and important people from behind the scenes who are fighting for everything that they deserve. None bigger than the founder of Samarthanam himself, Mr. Mantesh GK. They just can't seem to get a boundary away, Karnataka. And oh, it could have so easily been a run out. I just think that they've resigned to their fate. You can see it. They probably aren't going for the boundaries anymore. They're going to try to get as many as possible, but that isn't good enough because it's not a case of run rate on the points table. This isn't the league phase. This is a knockout stage. This is the big semi-final. You win, you go through. You lose, you're out of here. And Jayaramaya is into his 90s now. Or rather, where does that boundary take him? 97 of 57. He very well will end up being the top scorer today, but for a losing cause. Everyone expected Prakash to be the top scorer today, so that went as per script. But no one saw Karnataka falling short of a total. 2 overs remaining, and they require 58.
Even if all the balls go to boundaries, they will only get 48. Required rate is 58. The required runs are 58. So the only highlight of Karnataka's innings will be a century by Prakash Jairamaya. And if a question is asked, if you get the century, Karnataka is going to be declared winner, he will definitely say, I my century. But now it's too difficult for Karnataka. Somewhere down the line, the run out of Mesh in the initial stages, turning the tide in favor of Odisha. Nakul, the bowler. Lokesh, the batsman. Reverse sweep, not much of placement though. Not able to run, Lokesh. So they're quite have given up. The only thing which Karnataka is looking forward is a century. 97 of 57. Turns around. Will this be the boundary? And he gets into 3-figure mark. Vociferous appeal. Umpire says not out. It's good bowling.
Bowling, man, bowling!
As walks back slowly to the top of his bowling mark.
Bowling, man, bowling!
Odisha have given the taste of their own medicine to Karnataka. What they did yesterday to Tamil Nadu. Though it might not be a big win in terms of margin, but nevertheless. Again, this will not go to the boundary. Just a single. So it will be a big win for Odisha. 169 for 3. Only 9 balls to go. 225 the target. If Karnataka can manage to score 200, then you can say they fought till the end. But now it looks whether they will be able to touch 200. Comes out of the crease, sweeps it well and sweeps it hard for 4. 173 for 3. Just about 8 balls to go.
The last thing you want is Prakash standing on 99, Shankar. Don't tell me we're going to see that again.
But if Lokesh starts hitting the boundaries after a single is taken, and there it is, another stroke. So the last ball will be faced by Prakash Jairamaya, who is now on 98. So what he can do, get a boundary or get a single, so that he will be on strike for the 20th over. If he doesn't get a boundary, at least pick up a single. Because the only interest left from the Karnataka point of view in this match is whether Prakash Jairamaya will get to his 100 or not. This is the ball. Is there a bit of bat in it? We'll have to wait and see. So Prakash will have to wait, but nevertheless has got the strike. But if he takes a single, goes to the other end, and then it's a different ball game altogether. 175 for 3. So Karnataka may not touch even 200. So it will be a big victory for Odisha.
I think this is going to be a massive win, and it also sends a message to every team taking part in the IndusInd Nagesh Trophy. What it says is, yes, 1 or 2 teams may be ahead of the others, but the others are catching up thick and fast, right? And you're starting to see teams from all over the country really produce some high quality cricketers, and it's good for the game, it's good for India. Karnataka, you have to say, I wouldn't say they were caught off guard, but I just think they fell short with the quality of their bowling, and they just failed to get momentum with the bat in hand. And Odisha were the better team on all three aspects of the game, and that's why they are deserved winners. And I'm saying deserved winners because I'm expecting them to clean this up. I don't see a team scoring 50 runs in 1 over. Sukram Maji, and that man that you see on the screen, he was the chief architect. He was just simply supreme with the bat. Wait on. Hold on. Hang in, guys. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Prakash Jairamaya has been known to be stranded in the 90s. He, at the moment, is in the 90s, and there are 5 balls to spare. Well, the odds will suggest that he will get that 100, but it's a little too close. There you go. That should be it. That should be it. And there, Prakash Jairamaya will raise his bat. He gets to triple figures. He's done this many a times in the past. But you know what? He doesn't even acknowledge the crowd with the bat in hand. He's not happy. He isn't happy because his team is out of the tournament. He's just been outstanding. It almost feels like he's batted on a different pitch. Very similar to what's been happening in the Chepauk Stadium. Oh, and a rare miss from Prakash. Spare a thought for him. He's just been quite simply shouldering the responsibility of this Karnataka side today. You score 100 runs of 179, you know that you've been doing bulk of the scoring, and it can get frustrating when this batsman at the other end cannot do the same. He might just come back for the second there, and he will. Just 2 deliveries left. And Karnataka will end up in the 180s in all likelihood. Who would have thought that at the start, if you would have told anyone that Odisha will win this game maybe by about 40 runs, not many would have believed you. But that's how convincing they've been in every facet of the game. The sun's setting down. It's a lot cooler here in Bangalore. We've had a fantastic day of T20 cricket. 2 high-scoring games. We've seen over 800 runs in 80 overs. That's just an indication how entertaining it's been. And a wicket on the final ball. Oh no, it missed the stumps, but a dot ball to finish off. And Odisha, they can celebrate. The chants have started, the celebrations have begun, the players are running onto the centre. They've upset what in many ways are the favourites to win this game, and deserved winners. They win this game by 42 runs. That is a big margin in a T20 game. The Centurion from Karnataka, Prakash, will unfortunately end up on the losing side, and there we have it. Odisha win by 42 runs, and they will meet Andhra Pradesh in the all-important final of the IndusInd Bank Nagesh Trophy Season 3. We're going to be back here in tomorrow for that big final. Thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you these pictures from the Altior Green Sports Cricket Club. And in the company of Shankar Prakash, it's been wonderful just watching the level of cricket that's been on display by these two teams. And Shankar, you just have to give it to Odisha. They have been the better team.
Absolutely, and as a true cricket lover, you won't feel bad. But at the end of the day, as we were talking about earlier, as a Karnataka, you might feel a little bit disturbed because having played so well, and in the important stage, that's what happens in big tournaments. We have seen at regular basis. The 2007 World Cup, India losing out. 2003 World Cup, one-day international. They played well till the final, and in the final they were demolished by Australia's Ricky Ponting. They scored 369. They didn't know what was happening. And probably similar sort of situation. 182 for 3. It looks good. 105 of 65. Umesh, the run out, a little controversial there. 17 of 20. He did consume quite a lot of balls, and at the same time perished. And thereafter, even Sunil was not able to middle the ball well and get those boundaries. Run a ball from both of them. So run a ball when you require more than 12 runs and over. There sums up the summary of this encounter. Lokesh also almost run a ball. So it was only Prakash Jairamaya, the lone warrior, against a very spirited Odisha team, and Karnataka will have to accept this defeat gleefully. They don't have a choice because it was only one batsman versus Odisha's bowling, as all the other batsmen faltered and they were not able to score. Get a good strike rate of 130 plus, which was an essential requirement. Pankaj Buhe 1 for 26, none for 29, Nakula Patnaik, Sukram Maji none for 30, Tapan Kumar, and there you see the skipper Mohammad Jafar Iqbal, just 39 runs being a B1 bowler. Singrai 1 over for 17 runs. That was probably the only over where it was an expensive over. Extras just 23. Karnataka conceded 31. There again the difference of 8. So in all probability, Odisha was a better team on the day, and they end up winning this encounter and earning the eligibility to meet the defending champions Andhra Pradesh. So with this information that it will be Andhra Pradesh versus Odisha in the final. Thanks for watching, and this is Shankar Prakash along with my fellow commentator Naveen Krishna, and of course not to forget the friendly, efficient crew of Doordarshan Bengaluru, taking you back to the studios, but not before reminding you that we will be back for the final. So until then, take care and always keep smiling. Namaskara.
Hello. Let's do it. Yeah, Billy.